So it appears that this is, I don't know, this feels like it hasn't, I don't know the context of this story quite yet. There's not many details that are coming out, but we're entering an era of either attempted, right, with January 6th, or in that story in New Mexico, or a Republican hired assassins to try to kill like a Democratic lawmaker that beat them in a race or something. But we're entering an era of political assassinations, folks, and violence on politicians. New Jersey Councilwoman shot and killed in possible targeted attack outside of her home. Now, again, I don't live in New Jersey, and I don't know this politician. I also don't know the events surrounding this assassination. There's not that much detail that has come out about this yet. But what I do know is that politicians getting shot and killed in the streets, it feels like that is on the rise. It definitely feels like that's on the rise. And it's always not in the best possible way. Anyway, it's on the rise. A 30-year-old woman found fatally shot in her Sayreville townhouse complex has been identified by local officials as Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfour. She was shot while inside her white SUV, which appears to have then crashed on Samuel Circle at around 7:22 p.m. last night. Now, I don't know if this was... it appears that this is a story from this morning, so this happened yesterday evening, as of my show day. She sustained multiple gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead at the scene. She lived in the townhouse complex where she was killed just steps from her home. She preliminarily appears to have been the target of the gunfire, but a motive for the shooting was not immediately disclosed. Mahesh Chitnis, who serves as Sayreville's Human Relations Commission, posted on Facebook that the victim, who was also his neighbor, was killed 300 feet from my home. Quote, she was shot while returning back home. She was a woman full of life. Hours later, her SUV was towed away by police, who did not say if a suspect was identified or if an arrest was made. Dwumfour was elected to the council in 2021 and worked as a business analyst and part-time EMT. Quote, I am stunned by the news of Sayreville Councilwoman Eunice Dwumfour's murder last evening in an act of gun violence, said New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy in a statement released on Thursday morning. Her career of public service was just beginning, and by all accounts, she had already built a reputation as a committed member of the Borough Council who took her responsibility with the utmost diligence and seriousness. I send my condolences to the family, blah, blah, blah. So again, we don't really know any details about this. Could be for a multitude of reasons. It could be politically motivated. It could be, someone not liking that someone that they knew is successful or being successful. There's all kinds of reasons why someone would want to murder someone. You go from a normal person to you're extremely famous and everyone knows who you are, and you might have enemies that might want to target you. But it's also very possible it could be politically motivated. We don't really know. But again, it just feels like we're really entering that new era of political assassinations in this country. It's a little scary, and I'm not going to lie. Now, I don't necessarily think that, politicians getting shot and killed is anything worse, really, than what the police do to the citizens of this country on a daily basis. But again, we are entering a little bit of a Wild West scenario here. Again, we have right-wing freaks breaking into Nancy Pelosi's home to try to kill her and her husband, but she wasn't there. We've got that guy in New Mexico, the Republican, who tried to hire hitmen against the person who beat them in a race. We got January 6th as a big example. And so, again, I don't necessarily think politicians are above anyone else, but I do think that politicians, more often than not, being in the crosshairs, and they look like they're getting killed a lot more often, or at least almost getting killed, or getting shot at, or welcome to America. I mean, I don't know. This is the country that you created. And so, but again, obviously not all of these politicians are responsible for that. And I don't know anything about this councilwoman. But I'm just saying, we're entering a very interesting phase of American society. So we'll see where this goes. But definitely going to keep my eyes on that one because I want to see some more details if they emerge.